Hi, today we're continuing our discussion of 61113, Atorora Plutada Plute, 163 in Siddhanta Comedy. Atorora Plutada Plute. And we're doing this because the sutra contains, along with its somewhat intricate basic meaning, it involves several very significant, interesting elements of the grammar, which come into play as we study and learn the grammar in sequence with the idea of operating it or being able to operate it. So a quick refresher, Atorora Plutada Plute, Ataha, which is Panchami of At, Roho Shashti of Ru, Shashti, Shashti Sthana Yoga, Shashti, Aplutat Panchami, Aplute Saptami, Saptami. So Anuvrti being Uhu Ati, the full sutra is Aplutat Ataha Tasmati Tutarasya Roho. So Ru, which follows an apluta at being a hrasva apluta being a non-pluta hrasva a. This is the thing we will be focusing in shortly, the what I call the enigma or the riddle. Rohostane, uhu aplute, uhu, the uhu is pratama u, aplute saptami, ati saptami tasminiti nerdishte purvasya, when an apluta at hrasva follows. So, when an hrasva that is not pluta follows, aplute ati pare, in place of the preceding ru, which follows a hrasva a that is not pluta, so that would be rohostane, shashti stane yoga, roho being shashti of ru, rohostane aplutat ataha tasmati tutarasya, which follows a non-pluta at, will be replaced by u. So when a hrasva that is not pluta follows, in place of the preceding ru, which itself follows a hrasva that is not pluta, u shall come. So what we focused on in addition to that basic meaning last time is this concept of ru, which is one of these letters enjoined with specific usage functions built in. So we talked about she as a Vedic pragrihya. So here's the question, ru. What is ru and where does it come from? Well, ru is but it's with particular functions, such as the function here in this sutra. Now, where does ru come from? That's where this gets interesting. So this is described in commentary. Oh, and by the way, these details are not something that Shastri discussed with me at all. He just said these things there's something to it, but he gave me several pages of commentary, not translated or discussed, which I did not delve into until recently, at which time I eventually realized that the commentary he gave me was from Siddhanta Comedy, although he gave me the 4 different pieces that are related to different sutras in Siddhanta Comedy, but all hold together. So I am going to give you that whole commentary in the written notes. So what I'm discussing now comes from this commentary. Also, by the way, the core parts of this are also explicit in Mahabhashya. So the approach to this has to do with the Sandhi of Shivas plus Archaha. Now, Sivas plus Archaha, the word final S is replaced by which is Ru, making it Shivar Archaha. The sutra that causes this to happen is Sasajushoruhu. That causes the word final S to be replaced by Ru, not just any Ru in particular. And that's all fine. That allows us to apply the current sutra, Ruhustane, and a U comes in place of the Ru, and the by Adgunaha, Atorora Plutada Plute, is our current sutra, and then by Adgunaha, Shiva U becomes Shivo, and it becomes Shivo Archaha with Avagraha. So that's what we talked about last time, and the point, the issue about this is that the sutra which brings Ru into the Sandhi of Shivas plus Archaha is 8266. 8266 follows 821, obviously, which is Purvatrasitam. That means that 8266 is in the Tripadi portion of the grammar, also referred to as a Siddha. So it is actually, it's happening, it's automatically happens, it is replaced, but that replacement is unknown to all the earlier sutras, including the one we're talking about, 61113. So that means that as far as we know, when we're trying to make this Sandhi Shivas Archaha, there's no Ru. And that's quite a problem for us. We can't get the right answer. Now, this is explained by saying that Parnini himself put Ru explicitly in this sutra, Atorora Plutada Plute, Atorora Plutada Plute, Ruhustane. So Ru is named in this sutra, and by naming it, it calls out to the Asiddha portion, Yoho, I see you. And as a result of that, that particular application, Sasajushoruhu, is no longer a Siddha. It becomes known to our current sutra, which is kind of cool. And then we go on and get the right form. So that was the Ruhu story. What remains for us, a mystery, is this Apluta Rasva. What is this all about? What is this all about? So this is how Batoji approaches this. He does it actually in the same way that Patanjali does in Mahabhashya, with reference to two examples, and explains how this all comes about. So there's two uses of Apluta Hrasva in this sutra. One is Aplutat Ataha, and the other is Aplute Hrasva. So one followed by Hrasva and the other one preceded by Hrasva, or when a Hrasva follows. So the way this appears in Siddhanta Kaumudi and Mahabhashya is by saying Aplutat Kim. Why aplutat? Why say aplutat? Really, you already know something's not a pluta if it's ut. Well, the example here is ehi susrota atras nahi. That's my attempt at a udata pluta. Ehi susruta atras nahi. Now this udata pluta of susruta comes from a sutra 8284, Duratutecha. Also, when calling from a distance, also what? Well, this comes from Vakyasya tehe pluta udataha. Vakyasya tehe pluta udataha. T, you'll remember achontyadi T. Achontyadi T, the one that begins with the final vowel. The one that begins with a final vowel. We might say syllable. So the final syllable in a spoken sentence is replaced by an udata pluta. So that's what we have here. Ehi susrota atrasnahi, coming from duratutecha, which is a follow-up to Vakyasya tehe pluta udataha, one of many which are very fun, calling from a distance. However, as with Ru, Duratutecha is 8284, which is, by careful mathematical analysis, follows 821, Purvatrasitam, and it is therefore, although it happens, 61113 would never know about it, because this is a siddha non-existent to sutras that come before 821. So this is where we get our apluta ut, because as with Ru, Panini calls out the asiddha pluta of Duratutecha, in this case, calls it out, and therefore it's like saying, I see you. Duratutecha says, I'm hiding, and Atorora Plute says, no, you're not, I can see you. And so that means that this hrasva a may be pluta. Hrasva a may be pluta. And in this case, in the case of ehi susrota atrasnahi, it is, because this is calling from a distance, duratutecha, by Vakyasya tehe pluta udataha, it is a udata pluta. And so here in this example, given by both Patanjali and Siddhanta Comedy, the thing that appears as a hrasva a is in fact a pluta, and that means that this sutra 61113 will not apply, because this is a pluta ut, and in that case that keeps us from getting an incorrect form. So that's very good. Now the next one, if you've been listening carefully along, you might guess what the next question, both by Patanjali and Siddhanta Kaumudi, the next question is, and this is how it appears, which is something I love about the commentaries. Aplute kim, why followed by a non-pluta ut? So here we have another example. Tishtatu paya agnidata. Leave the milk, Agnidata. Leave that milk, Agnidata. Where are you going with that? Tishtatu paya agnidata. Agni-datta. Agni-datta. That's Charlie's Datta Pluta again. So this Pluta here comes from Sutra 8286, which is Guru Ranurato Nantyasya Pyekaikasya Pracham. Guru Ranurato Nantyasya Pyekaikasya Pracham, which basically says the ancients say that this Udatta Pluta can come in various places. In any case, it could come here. It does come here. And as in the case of the earlier Apluta At, in this example of Tishtatupaya Agni-datta, it does come. So we are saved from having an incorrect form by virtue of the fact that the aciditva, the acidihood of the Pluta given in 8286 is revoked. Its screen of invisibility is dispelled, and we can see it way back in 61113, and so we don't get an incorrect form. All of which is amazingly intricate, really. You know, that there are these mechanisms that we can now really experience as we move along. It's not just, well, there are these things that are invisible. No, we see how they work and how they can be modified like this. Now, there's one other little bit, I say little bit, but there's one other bit that I can't, well, one simple one and one that I don't have any expertise or even vague knowledge of. The first is the question of why Ut in the first place. Well, there is in the commentary at least one reason, and it applies both to preceding and following, which is Deva Atra, which stays as it is, and also Shva Aganta, Shva Aganta. So that's another reason to say Ut there. Now, here's the bit that intrigues me. It's a concept that's new to me, as I'm sure a great many will be. But there's the idea that the Taparastatkalasya of Ut can't block the Pluta because it gets basically worn out by applying to Dirgha A. It can't do both things. And who knows? I mean, I guess it's a paribhasha or something somewhere. But anyway, that's another idea. So that wraps up Atorora Plutata Plute. Thank you.